Hey YouTube, it's Sharice, and I know I haven't made a devotional Bible lesson, important or controversial topic video in a long time. That's because I've been in college and it's really hard to do my research and really meditate on those things and pull my thoughts together to make a video. But it is the end of the school year, and for all of 2015 so far, there's a specific psalm that I have been constantly going back to and meditating on and thinking about whenever I'm going through any sort of difficult situation, trial, obstacle that comes my way, or whenever I'm feeling misunderstood, or whenever I feel like I'm not sure where I should be going in life when things don't happen the way I planned for them to or as expected. And the psalm that helps me get through these things and deal with these emotions and all the obstacles and trials that come along with being a 20-something college black woman or any part of those things, whoever you are and whoever's watching this video. You can, if you have obstacles and trials and struggles in your life, then this video and this psalm I think will be especially helpful to you. So my favorite psalm is Psalm 139. So let's delve into this. And this psalm has three major sections. Let me talk about it a little bit. In my Bible, which is the Good News Translation, the GNT, the heading for Psalm 139 is God's complete knowledge and care. So this psalm basically has three sections. And the first set of verses is about how God knows you. The second set of verses about how God is always there for you. And there's like four sections. And the third section is about how God has created you with a purpose and he has a plan for your life. And like the fourth section is about how God knows the intent of your heart and your mind. And so these are some things that provide me with comfort when I'm going through any sort of struggle, if I don't understand why things aren't going my way. And I feel like this psalm really makes you want to trust God more, and it makes you feel more, what's the word I'm looking for? You feel reassured that everything is going to work out the way it needs to, despite the way it seems at the moment. It may seem like everything's going wrong, but no, everything is going the way that God wants it to, even though it may not seem right to you. And because of the things I'm about to read, you should definitely trust Him, trust your journey, trust the process, trust the obstacles and the struggles, because they're going to make you stronger and they're going to prepare you for where you need to be and what's to come. So let's jump in. Psalm 139, and I'm going to read verses 1 through 6. That's the first set about how God knows you. So it says, Lord, you have examined me and you know me. You know everything I do. From far away, you understand all my thoughts. You see me, whether I am working or resting. You know all my actions. Even before I speak, you already know what I will say. You are all around me on every side. You protect me with your power. Your knowledge of me is too deep. It is beyond my understanding. Obviously, God is one who created us, and like this verse says, He knows our every thought, He knows our every word before we even say it. And this really made me think about a puzzle or like a court case. If you're making a decision about something, don't you want to have all the information possible so that you can make the best possible decision about something? Or to understand a picture or to understand a puzzle, don't you need all of the pieces to be completely together? Who has all the pieces to our life? Who knows every single bit of info in our court case? God does. So we should trust Him as the judge of our life and as the judge of what happens when things do or don't go our way. We should trust that He knows what's best and that everything is happening for a reason. And we should also trust Him because He knows every single thing about us. And because He has all the pieces to the puzzle, we should trust him in putting it all together, even though it may not make sense to us. Because he has all the pieces, he already knows the bigger picture, but we don't yet because we're still going through life. So that's what that section really made me think of, about just trusting that God knows me and he knows what's best for me. And sometimes I may not be able to see it because I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle like he does. And I think one reason I really like this section is also because sometimes we put our trust in people. We put our trust in our mom, maybe our guidance counselors, our advisors. We put our trust in ourselves and our own knowledge, which Proverbs, is it 3 verses 5 through 6? Lean not on your own understanding. That verse, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we put our trust in people, but we shouldn't put our trust in other people, because just like those other people, they're like us. They don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. They don't know all of our information for our court case. They don't have all the details. They don't know our every thought. They didn't create us. So ultimately, you should trust God over what anybody tells you. The next section is about how God is always there. So starting in verse 7, stopping at the end of verse 12. And the Bible reads, "Where could I go to escape from you? Where could I get away from your presence? If I went up to heaven, you would be there. If I lie down in the world of the dead, you would be there. If I flew away beyond the east, or lived in the furthest place in the west, you would be there to lead me. You would be there to help me. I could ask the darkness to hide me, or the light around me to turn into night. But even darkness is not dark for you, and the night is as bright as the day. Darkness and light are the same to you." So basically, this is saying that no matter where we go, God's always going to be there. And the way I take this is, no matter where you are in life, no matter how alone you feel, whether you are in that far east place or the far west, whether you flew beyond the east to some far off place, God is with you. You know that he's with you. Whether you live in the far west, whether you are feeling alone, like you have no one, God is always there. Even in your darkest moments, at your brightest moments, God is always there. And if you seek him, he will help you and he will lead you. And you can't escape his presence. That's another thing. His presence may escape your thoughts and your mind, and it may not be a priority to you, but we are always a priority to God, and he's always ready for us when we call on him, if we're genuine and sincere about it. So that's what those verses make me think of. And I have another verse up here, Hebrews 13, 5 through 6. Let me get my phone and see what that was about. I'm reading the notes that I have in my Bible. So let's go to the Bible app. And of course, I get a whole bunch of emails. And it doesn't want to scroll. Here we go. Scroll, Bible, scroll. It's like stopped at Ephesians. Okay, Hebrews 13, 5 and 6. It says, "Don't love money, be satisfied with what you have, for God has said, I will never fail you, I will never abandon you." So we can say with confidence, "The Lord is my helper, so I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me?" So that's another verse that's very encouraging. Whenever you feel alone, or you do feel abandoned, or like you have no one to turn to, you know that God is always there. And that is something that I've personally been struggling with, because I don't know if any Winthropians are watching this video, but recently I just posted up some pictures of Corey and I. We did a couples photo shoot 3 weeks ago, but Corey and I actually broke up this Saturday. But we're still good friends, and I have no harsh feelings towards him. I still love him. He cares about me. We care about each other. It was never fake. Our love is genuine. It's real. It's sincere and honest. And I'm just thankful that I have a friend in him, to be completely honest. And he's really trying hard to show me that he cares and prove that he doesn't want to lose me as a friend and that he values me. But we are not together. So, of course, at first I was feeling kind of abandoned and alone. You know, when you break up with somebody, you feel those things. But really meditating on this verse and meditating on all of Psalms 139, and there's another verse I have in my phone screenshotted. I'll see if I can find it if this video doesn't get too long. That has really helped me realize that, hey, I'm not alone. It's not the end of the world. You know, life goes on and God is always with me. And I know that this happened for a reason. And who knows what the future may hold for me and Corey or whoever future Mr. Ishman is going to be. So that is what it is. And so that's why I say when you're in your darkest moments or whenever you're feeling alone, know that God is there. The next section is about God created you with a purpose and he has a plan for you. This is verses 13 through 16. And this is Psalms 139. The Bible reads, "You created every part of me. You put me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because you are to be feared. All you do is strange and wonderful. I know it with all my heart. When my bones were being formed, carefully put together in my mother's womb, when I was growing there in secret, you knew that I was there. You saw me before I was born. The days allotted to me have all been recorded in your book before any of them ever began." So I think that's just beautiful because like it says, before your mother even knew that she was pregnant, God knew that you were going to be there. And God knows the story of your life, and he's known the story of your life before you even had a life. And that's another reason to trust him because he has that whole puzzle put together. He has that bigger picture. He has all the facts, all the data, all the info to make the right decisions and conclusions and to be your guide in life. There is no better person, no other authority that you can turn to that will know more than God when it comes to you. Not even your own mom knows as much as God knows about you. And so I think that's very important when you are feeling alone or when you're feeling discouraged. Know that God knows your whole life and that when he created you, he already has your life planned out. He's already got all those pieces to the puzzle mapped out for you. And you just have to trust him and go with the flow and stay positive. I think that's all I want to say about that. I especially like verse 14, which says, "I praise you because you are to be feared. All you do is strange and wonderful." And I feel like everyone can look back on their life and think of something that didn't go right and then realize later on that it was for the better because it led you to something better or another opportunity that was greater or whatever. And so at first you feel strange, you feel kind of stressed, you're not understanding, but in the end, it turns out to be wonderful. And I feel like that's just kind of the cycle of life, like confusion and strangeness and awkwardness, and then later on you realize that it was for a reason, and then things get great, and then we go through more trials, and then it just kind of cycles over and over, just going back and forth between the strange and the wonderful. And I'm kind of thankful that we don't know everything because life would be so boring and there would just be no growth. And I think it's just beautiful to see people grow and transform. And without these trials and without this strange, we couldn't have wonderful. We can't appreciate the things that are great and wonderful and exciting and beautiful and the opportunities and the blessings that we have when we don't have struggles and we don't have obstacles and when things aren't going our way. We can't appreciate. It helps us to better appreciate when things are going right and going good. And I also just love, like I said, seeing people progress and transform. And so I think it's important that we have both those things, the strange and the wonderful, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs. The next section is about how God knows the intent of your heart. And this is something that being a teacher, being a human, we have to deal with other people. And I talk a lot about perception versus intent. And this is something that's very important in relationships whenever you're getting to know someone new. Corey and I only really talked for about 6 or 7 months. And we're still getting to know each other. We're still learning each other. We're still going to be friends and all that. But when you don't really know someone, or if you don't know someone well, sometimes you can perceive them in a way that they don't intend to come off as, or they don't intend to be. And so I think it's very important to look at the situation or how someone's acting or what they're saying or what they're doing from the perspective of what they intend and not what you automatically perceive, because perception can be very deceptive. Whereas if you know the true person's true intentions, there is no fault in, well, there can be fault in somebody's intentions, but it's easier to make a judgment or decision when you know that person's true intent. You're less likely to make a false judgment if you know what that person intended instead of going off what you perceived it to be. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, God knows our true intentions. So sometimes people may perceive us a certain way, but God knows what we really mean in our hearts and our mind. Yes. So I shall read the verses. This is verses 17 through the end of the chapter. So 17 through 24 of Psalms 139. And it says, "O God, how difficult I find your thoughts, how many of them there are. If I counted them, there would be more than the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. O God, how I wish you would kill the wicked, how I wish violent people would leave me alone. They say wicked things about you. They speak evil things against your name. O Lord, how I hate those who hate you, how I despise those who rebel against you. I hate them with a total hatred. I regard them as my enemies." In the last two verses, 23 and 24, "Examine me, O God, and know my mind. Test me and discover my thoughts. Find out if there is any evil in me and guide me in your everlasting way." So, of course, I'm reading for the Old Testament. As we know in the New Testament, we are commanded to love our enemies, but it is okay. I hope this is accurate. I feel like it's okay to, um, like, you can hate the actions or you can hate some of the things that people say. You can hate the actions, but you should never hate the person. And everything you should do should be out of gentleness and kindness and love when you are trying to correct them or discuss things with them so that they can understand your perspective. It should never be out of anger or hatred or um, revenge. That's what we're looking for. It should always be out of love. So get yourself together, forget what they did to hurt you, and then go talk to them. Well, not forget it, but forgive them for it before you go talk to them, or at least speak in a way that you know is not meant to put them down for what they did to you. Oh, that makes sense. And I especially love verse 23, which says, "Examine me, O God, and know my mind. Test me and discover my thoughts." Because at the end of the day, it comes down to you and what you're believing, what you're thinking about people. No matter what other people say about you or the wicked things they say about you, if they speak evil against your name, if they speak evil against God or against whatever you may believe or your family or whoever or your degree or your whatever they're saying, they're going to have to take that up with God. And God knows your heart and your mind. And a lot of those times, those people are just there to test you and to help you discover your own thoughts and your own strength. So don't let them get to you. And that's pretty much why I really like this psalm, because it addresses several issues that we deal with. Sometimes we feel misunderstood, but we should know that God knows us. Sometimes we feel like we're alone, but God is always there. Sometimes we feel like we don't know our path or we don't understand why things are happening. Like we don't feel like we have a path that we're on because everything just keeps going wrong or obstacles just keep popping up that prevent us from graduating from college. That's me. But at the end of the day, we know that God created us with a purpose and a plan, and He knows the end big picture. He has all the pieces to the puzzle. And sometimes we know that we may have good intentions, but we're perceived negatively by others or we're misunderstood by others. But God knows the intent of our hearts and our mind, despite how somebody may feel about us or what they may think about us. And lastly, even when people do bad things to us, we should treat them with love and kindness and know that we should allow God to guide our words and how we deal with people who are testing us, because it's only going to make us stronger. And when we treat people with love and kindness, despite how they have hurt us, it just glorifies God, which is what every Christian should do. And I am by no means perfect, and all these things are things that I personally struggle with, which is why this is my favorite psalm. And I just hope that somebody finds this encouraging and helpful, and this is just something that I've been going to for all of 2015 so far. And there's one last verse I want to share with you if I can find it quickly, because I don't want this video to be longer than the minutes. I don't want the minutes to be longer than my age. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. I screenshotted it the other day. I can't memorize what verses they were. I know it wasn't too long ago. I'm like scrolling through pictures trying to find it. It has to do with oh, let me see if I can find this. Oh, it's from Isaiah chapter 30 and it's verse 18. It says, "So the Lord must wait for you to come to him so he can show you his love and compassion. For the Lord is a faithful God. Blessed are those who wait for his help." So that kind of goes back to what I was saying about who you put your trust in and who you go to for guidance and counseling. The Lord is going to wait for you to come to him. He's ready for you to come to him, and he's always there when you need him because he is faithful. And anyone who seeks the help of God is going to be blessed for it. It may not come in the time frame that you want it to, but when you look back, you'll see those hidden blessings. And that's pretty much all I have to say. And that last verse I just read was Isaiah 30:18, but this whole video was focusing on Psalms 139. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be making more videos like this. This is my Bible. It's very worn because it's been used a lot, and I don't want to get a new one because I won't have all my highlights, underlines, and notes. Anyway, hope you guys find this helpful, and I'll be making more videos like this because school is out for the summer, and I'll be going home this Saturday, and today is Wednesday. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And remember Philippians 4:13 that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, YouTube.